Mahalakshmi ma'am start.
Mahalakshmi ma'am start.
Good evening to one and all listeners. On behalf of Center Education and Research Institute, Department of Commerce, and in collaboration with the Education Center Research Foundation, welcome you all for the fourth day of our faculty summit. We have embarked on a journey of knowledge, collaboration, and professional growth of your enthusiastic participation has made this program truly remarkable. Now I call upon our research scholar, Ms. Harita, to introduce our chief guest, Mr. P.M. Ramesh Kumar, Assistant Professor, DT Vaishnava College, for today's event.
Good evening to one and all. Dr. P.M. Ramesh Kumar, working as an assistant professor since 2015, Department of Commerce in DG Vaishnava College, Chennai. He is qualified PhD in University of Madras. Few honors and awards. Best research papers in response 2022 an international virtual conference on cognitive approach, social ethics and sustainability. School of Liberal Arts and Humanities and Central of Behavior and Cognitive Studies, Wolfson University. Editor, Management. Clear international journals of research in management, science and technology. University Research Fellow Membership, University of Madras, Chennai. He has been membership in professional bodies to name few. Indian Academic Researcher Association Fellow Member in 2022. International Institute of Organized Research I2OR Fellow Member in 2022. And he has done publication in both national and international journal. We heartily welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Arita. Now over to our guest.
Thank you, ma'am. Should I start for the session?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes. So, first of all, I thank for the authorities for the given opportunity for me as a resource persons to hear, and I thank to the event organizers as well as the coordinator for there, and I'm also an part to the associated this institute more than 5 years to assisting the PhD scholars for their analysis and all. Now I here to take a lecture, sorry, deliver the informations about the statistical tools and about to the SPSS usages with the methodologies. So here I continue for that. For the sessions, we're going to discuss about the statistical tools that about to the measurements, how the measurements are required to be in a use in the statistical basis. So the measurements plays a vital role in the research as well as the test also plays a vital role to here. So we need to be an understand why the statistics always plays a important role in the analysis, important role in the methodology as well as the your project. So for that, we need to be an can I use the bilingual language, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
As a
Yes. As a
comfortable.
Okay. So here it's about to the statistical test நம்ம எதை போட்டாலும் சரி, that's most important things. It's about to the why we need to use என்ற ஒரு காம்பனண்ட். ஒரு ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் இல்லாம எந்த ஒரு டெஸ்டும் பண்ண முடியாதான்னா that will be able to do, but there is a requirement about to the no experiment or the no observation. It's a perfect ன்ட்டு நம்மளால சொல்ல முடியும். We need to be understand about to the data because the data it's always a large number. The extracting the meaning from the data, it's about to the statistical will be and help you. The research often the involving the collecting the large amount of the data, which can be the overwhelming and difficult to interpret on its own. So the statistical tools it's a provide a systematical way to analyze and summarize of our data. And also the statistical tools it's helping to the researchers identifying the patterns and their trends and their relationships that might otherwise they or whatever they miss, that will be an help to the fill the gap the things. And moreover, it about to the tools, it's a placing the role about to the testing the hypothesis, because these the element, it's a key part of the research in the testing the hypothesis, which are the tentative explanations from the phenomena. The statistical tools, moreover, it's a providing a framework for designing the experiment and the test that can be used to evaluate the evidence for and against the hypothesis. Because in our research, there is no mandatory for the using the hypothesis, but the hypothesis will be the statistically evidence, and it's a help tool to inferentials of the informations. And this the testing of hypothesis will helps the researchers to distinguish between the real effect and the chances of the findings. It's also a good element. And moreover, it's about to the statistical reasons for the statistical we using that making the predictions. So because we use the various of techniques, the regression techniques is there, and the correlation technique is there, and the structural equation models and logistics is there. This all the helping the tools to make the predictions what's going to be and changes, what are the identical patterns and the relationship in your data. So they can use the statistical tools, make the predictions about the future outcomes and these, and provide some suggestions or the implications to the further the research we need to do. So these the roles in the many field, the specifically for the medicines as well, and whatever they call the public health or the social science or the business and the finance, economics, all the phenomena, all the fields, the tools are the providing the very imperative role to there. And it's also the statistical evidences and the statistical tools, it's enhancing the communications, because the tools can be used to communicate the research findings in a clear and a concise way. Whatever we presenting the data in the way, in the manner of tables, charts, graphs, researcher, or whatever they call the infographics of the methods, this all the researchers can make the audience and including the policymakers and practitioners and the general publics. These all the elements about to these, and why we need to use for the research statistical tools in our studies. But the statistical tools, the reasons are all we already know. But how the tools are selecting? So இப்போ ஒரு tools நம்ம select பண்றோம்னா அதுக்கு நம்மளுக்கு தேவையானது என்னன்னா, நம்ம எந்த tool எடுக்கிறோன்றதை விட நம்ம objective என்னவா இருக்கும் அந்த objective தகுந்த விதத்துல தான் tools நம்மளால use பண்ண முடியும். So அந்த tools, if you are using for the objective in the term of it's about to the associations, we need to use for the high square. If the term it's about to the relationship, we need to use for the correlations and the regression, it's relatable statistical tools. If the word it's about to the effect or the impact or the influence, we need to use for the regression statistical techniques. In the similar way, if the word be using the classifications in the objectives or the positioning, capitalizings of the elements we using, there we require to approach the statistical test of cluster, multi-dimensional statistics, and the discriminant analysis. If the term we used in the study, it's about to the determinants or factors, or it's about to dimensions, we need to approach for the statistical tool of the factor analysis. Either we can use the exploratory factor analysis or the confirmatory factor analysis. Any factor analysis, there we can using these and different kinds of method, the principal component methods. But this all the tools, it's integratively related with the skills. So that the scale we need to understand. The scale, it's about to the either it to the primary scales or the secondary scales, whatever the scales are they existed, that the scales we need to understand how the scales are framing. The scales, it's nothing, it's about to your questionnaire constructs. Scales are nothing, it's about to your variable measurements. Scales are nothing, it's about to your setting your objectives. So that's why always a requirement of we need to set the proper constructs, proper measurements with the existed of the informations which is available in the existed source. There we need to take the reliable constructs. That the reliable constructs already made a valid data. So in the way of we are setting the questionnaires, that will be and help you to what tools we going to approach. So whatever the tools we going to approach, that is a purely relative with your questionnaires, that is a purely relative with your objectives, that is a purely relative with your research problems as well as your research gaps. So that's why we require to approach the statistical test. So here it's about to the measurements are the constraints it's required. What are the measurements, it's or what are the constructs are the available. We are classifying the three categories of the scales we classify. The scales are generally the nominal scales, ordinal scale, and interval scales, as well as the ratio scales. The nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio, these are all the common elements from our undergraduation's degree. We are hearing the words, it's about to the nominal, ordinal, interval. In the general words, it's about to the nominal, it's about to the which the constructs are in the character based, that we call as a nominal. So character based, it's about to the demographic character. The demographic character or the any other characters that we are converting the qualitative informations as a quantitative. That about to the qualitative we converting as a numerical expressions. We know the quantitative is a numerical expressive data. So the qualitative we converting as a numerical expressions. So the qualitative, how we converting, we collecting the informations, the large amount of the data, the gender of the population, male as well as the female. So here the male we can't to count it, and the female we can't make as an numbering. But what we doing, we just placing the some referral number, the male which is accounting as a 1 and the female as well as counting as a 2. So 1 and 2. So the 1 as well as the 2, it's about to describing the numbers. So what you collected the qualitative informations, you converting as a numeric informations, as a gender, as well as the educations, as well as the nature of the family and area of living. So this is the similar way of the data. So it's all the data are what we know the meaning of these and classifications of the data. So the data classification, it's about to the that about to the geographical datas and the spatial datas like the clusters. The similar way we demographic nominal autonomous construct, it's about to the questions which is having the perceptions oriented. The perceptions oriented constructs having the multiples of options. The multiple options, it's about the either it a yes or no or the maybe or the yes or no, whatever the constructs. This all these and nominals will be in a considers. So based on the nominals, it will be in a test or the approachings. So the nominal constructs in the statistical term, we alternatively using as a categorical constructs. So we using the nominal or the categorical, or we can using as a non-variable. So metric constructs. So there will be a three are the four names we generally use for our study. So there is no requirement for the use for the only the one name. It's nominal மட்டும் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு nothing. It's nominal or the categorical, or else we can use as a non-metric constructs also you can use. அப்போ nominal education qualifications, occupations, ஏன்னா ஒருத்தவங்களோட அவங்களோட ஒரு பர்சனல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்ஸ் ஆர்கனைசேஷனோட ப்ரொஃபைல் இட்ஸ் அபவுட் த லிங்கட் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட்ஸ் கூட சொல்லலாம். இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ரேட்டிங் பேசிஸ்ல ப்ரொவைட் பண்றது. இன் சிம்பிளஸ்ட் டர்ம்ஸ் தி ஆர்டினல் இட்ஸ் அபவுட் தி எக்ஸிஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தி ஆட் இன் த மேனரா தான் அது இருக்கும் எப்பயுமே. இந்த ஆட் இன் த மேனர்ன்றது என்னன்னா ஒரு தான் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணுவாங்க. லிக்விட் ஐட்டம்ஸ் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி எல்லா ஸ்டடீஸுமே ஒன்னா தான் யூஸ் பண்ணாங்க. எய்தர் தே அடாப்ட் as an 3 point scales or 5 point scales or 7 point scales or 11 or 13 இது வரையிலும் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. But in the recent past, the various studies are using these scales are the even in the manner. But even இருக்கும்போது அப்ரோச் பண்ணோம்னா டெஸ்டோட ரிசல்ட்ஸ் அப்ரோப்ரியேட்டா வரதுக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். That's why the odd number யூஸ் பண்றதுன்றது ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருக்குன்னு நிறைய ஸ்டடிஸ் சஜஷன்ஸ் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. So the ordinal will be a good. So ஆர்டினலுக்கு சில டெஸ்ட் அப்ரோச் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ இந்த ஆர்டினலுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ற டெஸ்ட்டும் எப்படி ஒரு கோரிலேட் பண்ணலாம்ன்றது நம்ம டிஸ்கஷன் பண்ணலாம். அண்ட் மோரோவர் த இன்டர்வல்ஸ் பொறுத்தவரைக்கும் இட்ஸ் அபவுட் டு தி டெம்பரேச்சர் டேட்டாஸ் as well as the range of datas என்று சொல்லலாம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் I'm collecting the income groups. It's about to the range from these one particular 10,000 bucks to the 20,000 bucks, as well as the 20,001 rupee to and 30,000 and 30,001 rupee to 40,000. So similar way we using these range that about to the interval. Financials informations of the ratios we converting. So here this metric are not matching the for fulfill of research statistical tools.
சீக்கிரம்
எடுக்க முடியாது. ஏன்னா இது ஒரு டூலா தான் எடுத்துட்டு போக முடியும். இந்த ஒரு இன்ஃபரன்ஷியல் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிக்ஸை பிரிச்சிருக்கிற மெத்தட்ஸ் நிறைய இருக்கு. ஸோ தேர் இட்ஸ் கிளாசிஃபைடு தி parametric, non-parametric, and it's about to the multivariate statistical analysis. ஸோ இது எல்லாமே இன்ஃபரன்ஷியல் குள்ள இருக்கிற ஒரு மெத்தட்ஸ். அப்போ டிஸ்கிரிப்டிவ்ன்றது எதை சொல்றோம்னா, இட்ஸ் அபவுட் டு தி measures of central tendencies, measures of disruptions, and measures of deviations, and moreover for these frequencies and distributions. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்கல் டூல்ஸ் எல்லாமே நம்ம யூஸ் பண்றது டிஸ்கிரிப்டிவ் யூஸ் பண்றோம். ஸோ இந்த ஒரு ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்கல் டூல்ஸ் பேஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம டிஸ்கிரிப்டிவ்ஸ்ல ஃப்ரீக்வன்சிஸ், மீன், ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் டிவியேஷன்ஸ், அண்ட் ரேஞ்ச், அண்ட் மோரோவர் we can take for these and test of normalities and the Kalmagro-Saprio test. இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்கல் டெஸ்ட் எல்லாத்தையும் நம்மளால போட முடியும். பட் இது போடுறதுக்கும் ஒரு ஆப்ஜெக்டிவ்ன்றது நம்மளுக்கு வேணும். வை வி நீட் டு யூஸ். ஸோ ஏன் இதை யூஸ் பண்ணணும்ன்ற நம்மளுக்கு எப்பயும் கேள்வி வந்துகிட்டே தான் இருக்கும். ஏன்னா இந்த ஒரு ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்கல் டெஸ்ட்டை நம்மளோட டேட்டா எந்த அளவுக்கு டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட் ஆயிருக்கா இல்லையா தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ற ஒரு ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்கல் டெக்னிக்கை தான் இதை நம்ம சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கிறோம். ஸோ இந்த ஒரு டிஸ்கிரிப்டிவ் ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் பொறுத்த வரையிலும் ஸ்டடியில உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஃப்ரீக்வன்சி, அதாவது டிஸ்கிரைப் பண்றதுக்கான ஒரு ஓவர்வியூ ப்ரொவைட் பண்றதுக்கும், அண்ட் ஒரு ஃப்ரீக்வன்சிஸை எலாபரேட் பண்றதுக்கும், அண்ட் உங்களோட ஸ்டடி எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் எந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு ஃப்ரீக்வன்சி இருக்கோ அதை எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்றதுக்கு இருக்கிற ஒரு டூலை இதை நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். அண்ட் மோரோவர் இட் அபவுட் டு தி யுவர் டேட்டா டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன்ஸ் ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷன்ஸ் பண்றதுக்கு இந்த ஒரு டெஸ்ட் ஆஃப் நார்மாலிட்டியில இருக்கிற ரெண்டு மெத்தட், அதாவது கால்மாக்ரோஸ் அண்ட் ஷாப்ரியோஸோட இவங்களோட டெஸ்ட்டை தான் நம்ம அப்ரோச் பண்றோம். இட்ஸ் அபவுட் டு தி லெவல் ஆஃப் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன்ஸ், ஹவு த பெல் கர்வ், இட்ஸ் அபவுட் டு தி டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன்ஸ். ஸோ இந்த ஒரு பெல் கர்வ்ல எந்த அளவுக்கு டேட்டா டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட் ஆயிருக்குன்றது நம்மளுக்கு தெரியும். அப்போ எதர் இட் அபவுட் டு தி பிலாங் டு யுவர் குரூப் ஆர் த நான் பிலாங் டு குரூப். இது சிம்பிளஸ்ட் டேர்ம்ஸ் சொல்லலாம்னா இட்ஸ் அபவுட் டு தி whether your data it's about to the symmetrical or the non-symmetrical of asymmetrical, sorry, symmetrical or the asymmetrical of distribution. Symmetrical it's a normally distributed, asymmetrical it's a non-normal distributions. It's about the examinations. So அதை நம்மளால தெரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். அப்போ டேட்டா கண்டிப்பா சிமெட்ரிக்கலா தான் இருக்கணும்னா it are difficult to get the symmetrical of the data. ஸோ சிமெட்ரிக்கலா எடுத்துட்டு போயிட்டு நம்மளால எல்லா டெஸ்ட்டும் போடவே முடியாது. சிமெட்ரிக்கலா போட்டோம்னா ஈக்குவலா டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட் ஆயிருக்குன்னு நம்ம எக்ஸாமினேஷன் பண்ணோம்னா it probably to lead you to get as an insignificance of your results. So insignificant.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you are using a local language. We cannot understand.
Sure. That's why I requested for them.
Yes, sir, because of we are belong to Maharashtra.
Sure. We will use our single language.
Yes, you can use Hindi or English also.
Better we will use our English.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much, sir, for disturbing.
So here it's about to these data. So what we need to do, we need to select the appropriate of tools. So appropriate of tools, it's about to finding the distributions. So the descriptive in the regards of descriptive statistics, it's about to help you find the symmetrical and these asymmetrical distributions. How it's going to be find the symmetrical as well as the asymmetrical of distributions. If the studies or the maximum majority of the studies are suggested that data is required to be symmetrical in the manner that will be lead to the done with these inferential statistics, but there is no authenticated information about the mandate requirement of the symmetrical to exist. So the studies also is suggestible. We can use the asymmetrical distributed data also, but the asymmetrical shouldn't be an exist of extreme outliers. So the data need to be the minimum of these thresholds to fulfill. So if these data fulfill achieving the goodness fit of the thresholds, what will be an approach for these and other inferential statistics on the basis of these and asymmetrical or else symmetrical of these and data. So we can able to done with these and symmetrical as well as these and asymmetrical. So for these and inferential statistics, always we need to consider above the test of normality. So it's highlighting or the igniting about to the integratively relative with the descriptive statistics. So the descriptive statistics, after the descriptive examinations of your data, you can able to approach the inferential statistics. So here the inferentials and the descriptives always plays a important role for our thesis or for our project, for our whatever the academic requirement we approaching these in a statistical tool. And moreover, it about to these and descriptive statistics, there will be an innovative tools are available in these and recent past. It's about to the one of the good one is multiple response statistical tools. So the people are the using these and multiple options. It's about to the list out options. If these students are faculties and these research examiners, they are the providing these providing the questionnaires, they are setting the multiple options that about to these the list out they given, they using the multiple response as well as the cross multiple cross tabulations. So that's about to these and it's also unique and innovative technique that about to be providing to the explicate of the more informative in the projects and these studies. And in these descriptive statistics, it's about to always using these categorical as well as the continuous constructs. So categorical and the continuous are using these descriptives, and also the interval and these ratios also using these what is called the descriptive statistical tools. It's only provide you the overview, but we can't to take it as an final decisions or the mm, final decisions for our study, but it is a helping tool to you to create some suggestions and the implications for the further studies. And the inferential statistics always plays a vital role compared to the descriptive statistics. So the inferential statistics are it's about to the parametric. We can classify on the basis of the parametric or the non-parametric as well as the univariate, multivariate, the tools. But these all the tools we need to approach according to our objectives. So we can't use these tools whatever the tools are available in the bunch of in the market. So we shouldn't use similar like that. We should use appropriate tools for appropriate study objectives. So that's it's the most important. If you are study, it's about to the using the terms. Earlier we were discussed about this, and the term it's a placing the most important. So generally all the objectives which is a start in the term, it's about to the effectiveness. So the effectiveness, it's about to what the effectiveness, it's going to finding the before and the afters. It's about examinations. The effect, it's we need to use the appropriate test. It's about to these and binary logistics, or if the data it's about to the categorical versus continuous, we can use the bilogistic regression analysis. If these and continuous versus continuous, the questions it's about to the rating versus the rating questions, we can use the statistical tool. It's about to the linear regressions. It's about the ordinal least square. We can use if these and a dependent variable, only the one variable existed. If the dependent variable existing of the more than the one variable, we can use the multiple regression analysis. And there we can use the different GLM methods also, and we can use the structural equation model statistical tools. If the effect it's a word in your object use, so we can use. And moreover, it about to the determinants, the term we use with these determinants are the dimensions or factors. Here we can approach with these factor analysis. The factor analysis, it's a belong to the multivariate statistical tools. So here we can use with these factor analysis, or we can use these Ankova and the Mankova. It's about to the statistical tools help you to define the what are the dimensions plays a dominant role. And the dimensions, it's about to the how it's fit to your study, and how it reliable, and how it to the discriminative in the studies. It's explicating to fulfill of our requirement with the using of factor analysis. But these the factor analysis, the data it's always required to we need to use for the only what we called it's a continuous constructs that we called as a metric constructs, or the generally it's about to the ordinal constructs that will be and help you to approach the statistical tool of factor analysis. The factor is generally classified with these in two category. Again, it's about to the exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis. The exploratory it's about to the default detections. It's about to based on your requirement of using these and a principal component or whatever the methods you're going to approaching in the way of operationalizations, and there you can get the results. But the confirmatory, you using these and different types of indices, achieved fit indices, there you can able to find out the results with the your study existing study of making as a fit to according to your geographical data. So that will be gonna provide you to the valid model fit, and that will be gonna help you to understand the factor analysis. And the factor analysis it's always once again the factor analysis always required to the ordinal constructs. And some studies they using these in a nominal, but these in a nominal constructs are using in the factor analysis that will be and give you the inappropriate of the results. The reason it's about to there is no equal proportions of the scales. So for example, so if I using the question one, question two, question three, the question one having these and exist of the three options, and the question two that exist of the two options, question three it's exist of the five options. That's about to these an average will be the highly exist with these and extreme outliers that will be can't to approach these factor analysis using these nominal constructs. So that will be preferable for these and ordinal. If the nominal constructs exist with these and equal proportions of these and options, that means the groups if the groups are the equal proportions, we can use for the factor analysis also. But these no studies are adopted for the nominal for that. So here the ordinal will be the appropriate tool to use the sorry ordinal will be the appropriate tool for the statistical approachings factor analysis. And moreover it about to these, and we need to understand how the statistical tools, the possible statistical tools are yeah, help you to fit for your studies and use for your studies. So here I just shared their screen. It's about to these and the nominal. So nominal, it's the basic characters. It's about to these and objects or the identifying. So the examples are the already we explored. So it's about to the frequencies. It's a common statistical tools. But in the words of inferentials, the test we can approach the high square and the binomial test. How it's about to be an approaching in sense, it's about to the one scale, it's about to the nominal, and another dependent list it's also nominal. We can approach the high square statistical tools. That's about the question one, it's about to the gender. Question two, it's about to the perceptions of usages, how many times you are using. So we just given the question, it's about the close ended. We can make a compare, and we can make as an find the associations between the variable of question 1 to question 3. So how it's a relatively and how it's an associations. So we can use the high square statistical technique. So that the high square statistical technique will be and help you to understand in the more simplest way. So high square and the results are it's always will be in a significant if you are data in the questions of the each group if exist of 10% minimum minimum 10% of these data will be only hand on the product, and just I use the cross tabulations. There I need to receive these for the 100. For 100 instance, I need to get these, and each group it's a mandatory to collect the at least of 10 percentage of the products. So in the words, it's about to these, mail need to the product one for the 10%, product two 10%, product three 10%, product four 10%. So the 10% at least 10 percentage of data it's required. So 10%, if the 10 percentage achieved, your results also will be the high square. So that's the simplest, and yeah, it's called as a hidden secret to get the results in the positive and significant for the nominal versus the nominal. And if the data it's about to the categorical versus continuous, we need to use with these independent in sense, I'm telling about to these dependent list, it's about to the categorical versus the continuous. If the dependent variable is continuous and independent variable is a categorical, that is gender versus whatever the liquid construct I collected the informations, I need to identify the gender was satisfaction t test and continuous. So the t test and ANOVA, the two difference between the groups. So here we need to only to find the relay, find the so if for examples the gender it's only the exist of two groups, we can approach. If the gender have the three groups, we need to approach with the t test. So if I approach, for example, the t test, if I approach with these an independent sample t test, if I approaching with these and three groups, what it provide you, it will be an exclude any one group. So if I selected the only two groups, it is about one and two, and three it will be an excluded, and it will select only the two groups. So we need to select according to our question or measurement groups. So whatever the measurements, and the measurements if existing these and more than the two groups, we need to suggest to use the one way ANOVA. So it's a one way ANOVA, it's act test for the approaching the more than the two groups of your constructs. So here we need to understand. So the categorical, it's about to your demographic constructs or the perception constructs. Whatever the perceptions or the demographic constructs as your independent list. So it's about to the independent list. And now you need to be find your continuous variable, that is so if the dependent list it's a level of satisfactions, it's about the liquid constructs or the continuous variable or the metric variable, you can approach the your two groups or three groups to find the difference, how the placing as a higher perceptions or the higher difference with the level of satisfactions with your test of t test and ANOVA. So this is a test, it's a the good test about to find the results. And if the variables exist with these in a continuous versus the continuous, it's about the level of satisfactions and the level of importance. So we can find out to that. So that will be help you to use with these and a linear regression, structural equation models, and logistic GLM. So these all the methods you can use to find the regressions analysis. Here the studies are using the ordinal least square. It's also good technique of the using of this and a different method, enter method, stepwise methods. It's according to our requirement, our studies, we need to approach the tools. And if the study it's about to the only exist of finding the pre and post examinations. For example, if the study it's about to the examining the providing the welfare activities to the people, so we need to approach what the test. So we need to conduct the score about to the pre-datas before the conduct the welfare activity, that score after conducted the welfare activity, and we need to get the scores, and we need to compare the score. The comparisons, it's about to the paired sample t-test we need to approach. So the paired sample t-test, it's also a finest one. If your variable it's only exist of the only one group, you can approach the one tile t-test, that's also one sample t-test, that will be an help appropriate tool. It's about to the provide you the proper results and the proper suggestions to the. And the statistical tools are the classified in the different category. So these all the tools we need to approach according to our study objectives. So here just what I do. Oh, sorry. uh, so here it's about to the, so we need to use for these and associations. If our variable sorry, if our objective it's about to these and associations, to find the associations between the two variables, we can use the cross tabulations for the high square analysis. If my variable it's about to these and finding the effect or impact or sorry, influence, I can, sorry, oh sorry, sorry, okay. So if it is an influence, to finding the effect, to find the impact, to find the influence, I can use the logistic regressions. So here it's about to, if I need to use for the difference, so it's about the mean difference or the any difference I need to find out. So here I can use for the t-test and ANOVA. And logistic regression, it's also to find the, sorry, linear regression, it's about to this an effect, impact, and influence. So according to our objective we are approaching. So here the factor analysis. So what we do, factor analysis we generally using for the classifying the your respondents, or sorry, classifying your opinions of your respondents. So the opinion, respondents opinion is classifying the factor analysis. The opinion of the groups classifying is a cluster analysis. The opinion group classified validating we called as a discriminant analysis. And the opinion and factor analysis, sorry, factor opinion and groups correlating, it's called as a multi-dimensional scaling. So these the three tools are the good for studies. So we generally using the classifications and reducing the dimension. So if our objective it's about to dimensions, determinants, and factors, elements. So this for the factor analysis. The cluster analysis we use with the word, it's about to the uh, classifications of the groups. So that we call using the cluster analysis. And the discriminant analysis, it's about to provide the validations of your cluster groups. And the multidimensional, it's about to the it's generally called as an importance and important performance analysis. So it's a IPA technique. So important performance analysis, that it about to these the quadrant of bases to collecting the informations. So importance and performances. So high on high, low on low, and high on low, low on high. So we collecting the informations using the multi-dimensional scalings. So this is the way we using the statistical technique. So these all the tools it's used. And in the simplest manner, it's about the what are the commonly used the statistical techniques. So the Man Whitney and the Wilcoxons, the parametric in the manner. So we approaching these, and if the groups or the two independents are the more than the two independent, the Kruskal values of ANOVA. So rather than be using the Kruskal values of ANOVA, we use the one way ANOVA. It's good for the studies to get these and good results. And now the various of extensions are available in the market. We using these and post hoc tests. The post hocs also using according to our requirements. So the post hocs will be provide you the clear differences between the groups. That also will be good tools. And according to that, we need to select the statistical tools that will be help you to fulfill of your studies objectives. So always tools plays a vital role. So we need to select the appropriate tools that will be provide you the more in the manners. So tools are essential part of the research process. So that will be help us to make a sense, or to draw and draw a valid conclusions, and it help to us to communicate our findings to the others. So here it's about the concluding with that. So without statistical tools, so research would be the much less the rigorous and the informatives. So thank you for these sessions.
That wonderful explanation. We are looking forward to many more sessions in future programs. We are grateful to acknowledge your application certification.
Mahama, any question sessions first we will carry. Participants, if there is any question session, please discuss with the sir.
Thank you so much, sir. This is Assistant Professor Nimbolkar VR. Sir, can you explain regarding the ANOVA tools, how to use the ANOVA tools?
I know. Okay, sir. So in the regards of the ANOVA tools, you are requesting for these and any other packages we need to use, or you're required for the your measurement scales according to required.
Yes, for the purpose of measurement, sir. It means
Okay, no problem.
yeah.
If generally our question it's about to exist of the three groups. For the two groups also is suggestible, we can use it, but the two tests we can use with these two groups. For example, if a question it's about to these two groups or the three groups more than the two, so the three options is there. We approaching with the continuous construct. The continuous in sense the liquid items. So whatever the liquid item, for example, I'm collecting the informations about the, are you satisfied with the GPay using? So it's about to, I'm collecting the perceived benefit. So the perceived benefit, it's a liquid concept. So I'm collecting the 1 to 5 of rating. So the 1 to 5, what I'm doing, I'm going to the three groups, how it differentiated with the level of benefit or the level of satisfied. So that will be provide the appropriate of differences between the three groups. So the three groups, it's about to the either the usage group, either the perception group. So any three groups, which groups have the higher perceptions on the level of satisfactions. Okay, so that will be a help to identify. So generally, the F
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
the ANOVA F value, the threshold, it's about to the 2.56. If the 2.56 above, you will get the significant results. And if the t test value, the t value need to be mandatory plus or minus 1.96. If it is a value below 1.96, you no need to go your results to find it's a default insignificance. If it is a value, tiled value 1.96 below, it's insignificant. Similar
Okay,
way, the F is also 2.56.
okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful explanation. We are looking forward to your many more sessions in future programs, sir. We are grateful to acknowledge your appreciation certificate.
So please stop sharing your screen so that we will be able to share our screen.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
I think Meenakshi ma'am sharing the certificate. So
Uh, Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the session. Thank you, all
Thank you.
participants, for joining with us. I'll be sharing you the feedback link. Participants, please respond. Thank you, sir. With this,
Thank
we'll
you.
stop for today's session. Meet you all for the tomorrow's session.
Thank you.
thank you so much, sir, for
Thank
your valuable guidance.